Hi students, welcome back to today's class. Today we are going to see one new chapter, that is employability skills. Under employability skills, we are going to see the following units, that is 5 units we are going to see under this employability skills. So under employability skills, we have communication skills as the first unit, and unit 2 is self-management skills, and unit 3 is information and communication technology skills, and unit 4 is entrepreneurial skills, and unit 5 is green skills. So all these 5 lessons together you are going to have under this employability skills. This is going to talk about all general topics only, and now today we are going to see the communication skills first unit. Okay, so all these lessons, if you are studying together, then you will get all these lessons. No, from all these lessons, you will get questions for 10 marks only. Okay, so totally for 10 marks, you will get questions from these 5 units. Okay, and first one, unit 1 communication skills, under we have totally 7 sessions. Session 1 is methods of communication, and session 2 is verbal communication, session 3 is non-verbal communication, session 4 is communication cycle and importance of feedback, and 5 is barriers to effective communication, and session 6 is writing skills, and in that we are going to see parts of speech, and session 7 is writing skills. In that we are going to see sentences, how we can make a sentence, and all those things we will see one by one. So let us move on to the first session, that is methods of communication. Okay, so what is meant by communication? So in the present time, a thorough knowledge of language with communication skills is very important in any occupation also, or in a business also. So if you want to work, or if you want to do any occupation or a business, okay, you need to have a thorough knowledge of the language, any language, mainly English language, you need to be thorough with. Okay, so a thorough knowledge of language with communication skills is very much important in any occupation or a business. So as a student, you may study many languages or any language, but it is important that you are able to read, write, speak and listen well in order to communicate properly. So if you want to communicate properly, you need to able to read a particular language, and you should able to write, and you should able to speak also, and you should able to listen properly also. Okay, if you want to communicate properly. Speaking more than one language can help you to communicate well with the people around the world. So if you are going around the world, if you are going to visit many countries, so you need to have a common language, that is English. Okay, so you should also speak more than one language also. Okay, so speaking more than one language can help you communicate with well with the people around the world. Okay, so for that reason only, we need to learn many languages, and learning English can help you to communicate with the people who understand English besides the mother tongue. Okay, so instead of mother tongue, who to whom and all we can able to communicate with English, and which persons knows English, to whom to those persons we can easily speak with English besides the mother tongue, that is the language one has been exposed to since birth. So for us Tamil, so instead of speaking language Tamil with the person who knows English, no, we need to talk with that person with the language English only. Okay, so it is helping, learning English can help us to communicate with the people who understand English. Okay, so session 1, methods of communication. The word communication comes from the Latin word communicare, okay, meaning to share. Okay, so the Latin word communicare, from that word only communication word came. Okay, so what is the meaning of this communicare? It is the meaning is to share. Okay, so being able to communicate effectively is one of the most important life skill. So if you are able to communicate effectively, it is one of your life skill, important life skill. Communication skills are needed to communicate effectively with the people and with the customers also. So if you are a business person, if you want to speak with customers properly, you need to speak effectively. Okay, you need to communicate effectively with the people and customers. So this module aims to help you improve your communication skills. So clear and concise communication is of immense, that is great importance in work and in business environment, as there are several parties involved. So many persons, many parties are going to be involved in the working environment or in the business environment. So we need to talk clearly. That is what we need to talk, and extra things and all we should not talk. Okay. So extra talks are not allowed, and concise talk. Okay, correct words we need to use, and clear words, exact words we need to use in order to communicate properly with the many parties. Okay, so various stakeholders like customers will be there, employees will be there, vendors, media, etc. are always available for sending important information to each other. Okay, so communication has three important parts. So how many parts are there in communication? It has three important parts. First one is transmitting, second one is listening, third one is feedback. What is meant by transmitting? The sender transmits the message through one medium or another medium. Okay, so through phone or face-to-face channel. Okay, so like that, sender can transmit his message. Okay, so the sender transmits the message through one medium or another medium. And then second part is listening. So communication part, first one is transmitting, second one is listening. So who will listen? The receiver listens or understand the message. Okay, and finally, who will send the feedback? The receiver conveys their understanding of the message to the sender in the form of feedback, either by nodding his head or by asking some questions, or by replying some answers. Okay, so to the sender in the form of feedback to complete the communication cycle. So communication cycle, when it is going to be completed? When the receiver conveys his feedback, when he is conveying his understanding of the message, and with that, the communication cycle is going to end. So only if you have only two parts, that is transmitting and listening alone, it is not said to be a communication cycle or communication. It's not a proper communication. Let us look at an example below in an outlet of a bookstore. Okay, so in a bookstore, what kind of conversations are taken place? And it is related to this communication cycle only. So customer is there as a one person. Okay, so customer to a retail associate. Do you have the textbook of beauty therapist published by NCRT? Like that, he is asking, customer is asking, salesperson is saying, let me check. In the above conversation, the information is being transmitted orally by the customer. So here he is saying some information, he is asking some questions, so that information is transmitted orally by the customer. The salesperson is listener in this case. Okay, he is listening to what customer is saying, and he is replying. Let me check. Like that, he is replying. So the discussion is about book is message. So about the book they are discussing. So that discussion about the book is called a message here. Salesperson, yes, we have the textbook of beauty therapist. Like that, he is replying again. Customer, please give me one copy of the textbook, I want to purchase it. So in this above for conversation, the above conversation, the receiver's response, okay, that is the salesperson's response, is the feedback. This is an example of communication between the customer and the salesperson. That is, the process of conveying a message is complete. Okay, so when you are conveying some messages, it is said to be complete only when the person receiving it has understood the message in its entirety. So that is wholly, entirely, the message should be understood by the receiver person. Okay, recipient person, then only we can say the message, conveying message is complete. Okay, the process of conveying message is complete only when the person receiving it has understood that message in its entirety. In this case, the customer understood that the bookstore has the textbook and he can get a copy of the same. So like that, finally the customer has understood. Okay, so let us see some pictorial way of communication process and elements. Okay, so communication process and its elements. Let us see the process of communication in detail. So here the messenger is there. What I mean, that is what she is going to say. So that information is with her now in her mind. So she is giving input or information through the channel. Okay, either via speaking or writing or graphic, showing visual way or video, in the format, in any format, she can convey her message. Okay, she can share her information or input. So now message is conveyed, that is coding. It is called from the sender side. If anything is going, any message is going, that is called to be code. And when it is understood by the, when it is going to be understood by the recipient person, then it is said to be, the process is said to be a decoding. Okay, so now the message what is transmitted from the messenger is decoded by the recipient, what I understand. Okay, so this part is known as behavior or output. For that, he will respond at least some code in common, both will both will be communicating with each other. Okay, now the sender is giving information. Okay, so this above figure 1.1, it shows the communication process. And now we are going to see the elements of communication. So what are the elements are available in the communication? Sender, receiver, and the message, and then channel, and then um, receiving information. So all these things are known to be a elements. Okay, so communication here, it is starting with the sender, and that message, that is information, is giving here and received here by the receiver. So information is given, message is transmitted, sender sends a message, a channel is used to transfer the message, either phone or direct face-to-face communication. Okay, so R or phone we can use. So a channel is used to, that is wired way or wireless way, like that we can also say. And face-to-face conversation, a channel is used to transfer the message, and the reply to the sender is done from the receiver. Message is received by the receiver. After once it is received, he is sending reply. So receiver replies to the sender. So now it is reaching to the sender. So here sender, receiver, and the message and the channel, all these four elements, four are feedback. All those things are called elements of communication. So we will see what are the various elements of communication cycle. Okay, so here like a cycle, like a circle, it is made so that it is called a communication cycle. So if the receiver is not responding anything to the sender, then the sender may think that she or he did not receive anything, any information, or she or he didn't understand anything. Okay, so so that it is called communication cycle. When the sender is getting the reply from the receiver, then it is called a communication cycle. So the various elements of communication cycle are: first one, sender, the person beginning the communication, and second one is message. What is meant by message? The information what we are transmitting from the sender to receiver. Okay, so the information that the sender wants to convey is called a message. And then channel, the means by which the information is sent. Okay, and receiver, the person to whom the message is sent. And feedback, the receiver's acknowledgement and response to the message. Okay, so we are constantly use some form of communication or another to send the messages across. So constantly we will use some kind of channel in order to transmit our information or a message. So without the different methods of communication available today, okay, it would be challenging to carry out a business as proficiently as it is done today and with the same swiftness. Okay, so some common methods of communication. So what are the various methods of communication we have? Without these methods of communication, it is very challenging one to carry out our business and day-to-day activities. Okay, so what are the methods of communications we need to have? First one is face-to-face informal communication. Okay, so description, what is meant by face-to-face informal communication? Okay, so this is the pictorial description. Face-to-face, both are sitting, and informally here they both are discussing. Okay, so there is nothing better than face-to-face communication. So face-to-face communication is the best communication method, because we can easily understand what in which mood the sender is saying that message, conveying that message. Everything we will understand easily by seeing his or her face. Okay, so there is nothing better than face-to-face communication. It helps the message to be understood clearly and quickly. Okay, so there is no channel in between the sender and the receiver. Only the air is the medium space. Through that air only they both are speaking. So it helps the message to be understood clearly and quickly. Also receiver will get the information. Also, since body language can be seen in this case, so what he is speaking and in which mood he is speaking, he or she is speaking, everything we can see by our eyes. Okay, so since body language can be seen in this case, it adds to the effectiveness of the communication. Okay, so it will give effectiveness to the communication. So this is only known as face-to-face informal communication. And email is another method of communication. So email can be used to communicate quickly with one or many individuals. So here with one person, they both speaking. Okay, each to one person to another person, both are speaking here. And email is used for communicating quickly with one or many individuals. Okay, so with one person also we can communicate, or with many individuals also we can communicate in various locations. Okay, so here location is not a problem. So wherever they are located, okay, in whichever part of the world they are located, we can easily communicate with the help of the email. So it offers flexibility, convenience, and low cost. Also we can send documents and files also with the help of the email. Okay, next is notices and posters. It is effective when the same message has to go out to a large group of people. So notices and posters, when we will use, this is also kind of communication only, so when this both are going to be used means when the same message we want to convey to a large group of people, generally used for where email communication may not be effective. So email communication, once they open their email only they can able to see, but wherever they are riding in a vehicle or when they are moving on outside, okay, so easily they can notice the posters. Okay, so for example, change in the lunch time for factory workers, or XYZ clothing will remain closed for customers on Sunday. So all those informations easily will be reached to the people. Okay, for a public, if they want to convey some messages, no, they can easily convey with the help of notices and posters. Okay, next is business meetings. So business meetings will be always held with the help of a group of people. So communication during business meetings at an organization are generally addressed to a group of people only. It can be related to business or management or organizational decisions. So any kind of decisions if they want to make for growth of their organization, or related to the business they want to discuss, or the related to management, any decisions if they are making, they can discuss in the business meetings. Okay, and this is also another type of method of communication. Business meetings, notices, posters, another method, email, face-to-face informal communication. Okay, next is other methods, like there can be various other methods like social networking, also Twitter, Facebook. Okay, and then messages, phone call for communication, newsletters, blogs, forums, all those things we can make use for communicating with each other. Okay, WhatsApp, Facebook, all those things we can use it here. And choosing the right method of communications depends on the target audience. So which method of communications you want to choose, that is depending on the message you want to convey and to how many number of people, that is based on the target audience, and how much cost it will be taking when you are using these methods, and based on the kind and type of information. So which type of information you want to share, either personal information or some general information, and or urgency and priority. So based on this factors only, okay, you need to choose the method of communication. So we have studied so many methods of communications here, and from that which method of communication you want to choose, it is based on these factors, that is target audience, to which audience we want to send the message, and which type of information or kind of information we are sharing, and what cost it will be taking when we are sending, when we are choosing social networking, or when we are using email, or when we are going for face-to-face communication. So what type of cost will be occurring, and then how much cost will be occurring, that factor also is considered here in order to choose the right method of communication. And urgency and priority, so immediately if it want to be done, either we can go for email or social networking. Okay, other methods of communication we can go. So the methods of communication you choose could affect your relationship with the peers. Okay, so which method of communication you are choosing, it will be affecting your relationship with your peers and supervisors and customers. It is therefore vital that you spend considerable time and consider all the factors, choosing the right method to aid you in your works, in your task. Okay, so it will be helpful. All these factors, if you are considering, based on all these factors, you just think thrice or many times, okay, before you choose the right method of communication in order to help your tasks. Okay, so otherwise it will be leading to relationship that is affects your relationship with the peers and supervisors and the customers, or also if you are choosing wrong method of communication. So you need to spend a lot of time based on these factors. You need to choose the correct method of communication in order to convey your message. Okay, so with this we will end up this session, and in the next session we will see about verbal communication. Thank you.